is this problem not getting solved? I must be the dumbest guy who just somehow doesn't understand this, because this problem should have been solved. It turns out, the more I looked at it, they were asking the wrong question. The question every company, every gut microbiome doctor, every GI doctor wants to know, what are the organisms in your gut? Right? Who is there? And it turns out that's the wrong question. The right question to ask is, what are they actually doing? What are they producing? Body doesn't care who's doing it, they care about what is being done to it. That means everybody was trying to find out these fancy Latin names. Oh, you got Bacteroidetes, you got Firmicutes, you got Provatella. And I say it doesn't matter, because in nature, thousands and thousands of different organisms can produce exactly the same thing. So when you're looking for organisms for people who have disease, they will be completely different from each other, but they may exactly be causing the same problem because they're producing the same thing. And the second part is, the same organisms can produce multiple things based on the ecosystem is inside and what is being fed to it. And that simple breakthrough about trying to find out what they are doing versus who is there changed everything. So I started a company and I said, why can't we do that? It turned out, to find out what they are actually doing, you need to do the RNA sequencing. So DNA tells you who they are, RNA tells you what is being expressed. Interesting thing about the same thing about the human side. Every single person has probably done 23andMe or some kind of DNA test, right? Interestingly, from the time you're born to the time you die, your DNA is largely the same. That's why they say your DNA is your fingerprint of life. If DNA does not change, why is it somewhere along the lines you get sick? Let's blame something that hasn't changed yet. Your genes are not your destiny. Your gene expression is. How they are expressed is changing constantly. And that's changing from the food you eat, from the gratitude you give, the stress you have, the exercise you do, everything in your life. You control your destiny, which is gene expression. You don't need to worry about the genes, what kind of mutations you have. Mutation simply tells you you may be likely to have X. Everybody is likely to die. The question really is what is being expressed. And that was the key. So anyway, that took me down the journey. Everybody told me, who was an expert, the RNA cannot be sequenced, it is short-lived, it cannot be done. And when you don't know anything about it, you always take it with a grain of salt. What do they know? They're just a doctor. It turns out, I was at Los Alamos National Lab, where our taxpayer money was being spent for biodefense work. And one of the problems they were trying to solve was, they spent 10 years, billions of dollars, that if a bad actor were to get hold of something biological, how would we ever know what made us sick? So they came up with the idea of, can they actually do a very quick RNA testing and find out exactly what these organisms are producing so they can come up with an antidote to it.
Yeah, we know that.
And I heard that and I'm thinking, that's exactly, if we know what is making somebody sick, we can keep them healthy. I got an exclusive license to the technology and I started this company called Wild. Amazing thing happened, and I'm going to fast forward. 2.5 years later, now we have hundreds of thousands of people that have taken the test. And what we have learned now, I'm going to share with you, that is just absolutely mind-boggling. It's rewriting the way we thought who humans were. It turns out that our human DNA only produces about 20,000, 22,000 genes. These gut microbiomes, which are 40 trillion of them, produce about 3 million genes. That means at most we are 1% human. One would argue that we are actually created by them for their own benefit. We are the beautiful container, a walking, talking ecosystem created by these microorganisms for their benefit.
No, this is beautiful. What you said is amazing.
Thank you. And today, having analyzed hundreds of thousands of people, now we can see the actual biochemical signatures of obesity, diabetes, depression, IBS, And we are going on and on. Today we have 15 clinical trials that we are doing, double-blind clinical trials, to show the only drug you need is the food. The food is the drug. And it is personalized. We each eat food that we believe. That is the only drug we need. And we feel so good about who we are and what we do. It turns out 2,500 years ago, Hippocrates said the same thing. What did he say? All diseases begin in the gut. One man's food is another man's poison. Let food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be the food. And it took us billions of dollars and 2,500 years to get back to what we knew. Ayurveda has always had that, right? I mean, it is unbelievable that how far we have come by going back as far as we could. What I found some amazing thing that I can share with you was that as a layman, that just absolutely fascinated is when the baby is born, it was always considered the baby in the womb is sterile. It turns out 2 days ago there was a research that came out that says baby in the womb is never sterile. The microbiome is everywhere, including our brain. Now they are finding that your brain microbiome and your gut microbiome is communicating, right? Apparently our gut and our brain are connected, and all of these cognitive diseases, what happens? It starts in the gut. If you notice somebody, before they get dementia and Alzheimer's, they get constipation. When you're anxious, you get butterfly in your stomach. When you're depressed, you either eat or you don't eat. Everything is connected to the gut. In fact, I would argue, and this is totally my thing, when we talked about the Eastern philosophy, there are plenty of Indians here, so I can talk about, Brahma, right? Brahma, right? Brahma starts from the gut, right? Navel. Why is it the creation of life is started from the gut? The navel, that's where the life comes from. And I would argue this is something that Deepak and Sanjeev will kill me for saying that. We talk about the soul, and we say the soul never dies. What if what they really meant is your microbiome, when we die, simply goes on to the new host. Right? Microbiome goes out, we die, and it goes on to the new host. That's your soul that is continues to perpetuate. Every religion has a creation story, so I'm going to end with the creation story. How did we believe that humans were created? And the only downside of my story is once you hear it, you can never unhear it. So how many wants to hear it? Okay. So Bo said, and Sandeep said yes, so that means it's the go. So here's how it starts. As you know, our planet Earth is about, give or take, 4.5 billion years old. And about 3.5 billion years ago, we started to see life on Earth. The single cell amoeba and the bacteria and viruses and the yeast and the fungus and the mold. Humans are only, give or take, a couple of 100,000 years old. How do you think the humans come to be? So now imagine this, right? Imagine this could have happened. One day, all these organisms got together and they said, we're sick and tired of living in this small space. We want to take over the world. And they all looked at each other. And one of the young ones said, I have an answer. What is the thing? What if we can create something bipedal? It can go everywhere it wants. Lots and lots of us will live inside it. All we have to do is keep this thing healthy. We can make it crave anything we want. It's going to go run around everywhere to find the food for us. Right? And they created this creature and they called that humans. And they were very proud of it. They knew that once they created humans, it's going to go everywhere, it's going to poop everywhere, it's going to spread them around, and they're going to take over the world. And once they created humans, they all panicked. Just like today, how many of you guys are afraid of artificial intelligence? I know Elon is. Elon thinks the AI is going to kill humans, right? They all wonder someday, AI that we created, artificial intelligence, someday might become smarter than humans. What will happen to us humans, right? We worry about that. These organisms are not dumb. As soon as they created humans, they said, oh my God, what have we done? And they all reassemble. They say, Master, we have a problem. What's the problem, son? Aren't you worried we created humans? What if someday they became smarter than us? What are we going to do about that? And Master says, don't you worry. We put all the controls in place. Master, what did you do? Master said, right inside their human cell. This thing they call mitochondria, they don't even remember. It used to be the ancient bacteria inside their cell. That's the one that supplies all the energy to their cell. Like my brothers, we talk all the time. Microbiome and mitochondria communicates. And if they don't take good care of us, we tell our brother to shut the energy down, they're all dead. Master, that's brilliant. But you're forgetting something. What? They're starting to develop this thing called brain. What are we going to do about the brain thing? Master said, that's the first thing we thought about. Master, what did you do now? You know we live inside the gut, right? We put a direct connection to their brain. And can you believe they call that a Vegas now? They're thinking naming after Las Vegas, what happens in the gut is going to stay in the gut. They're wrong. They already know what happens in the gut goes everywhere. We actually control their amygdala. We control their mood. We control their behavior. We control their thought process. We make them crave the food we want. If they want to feel good, the serotonin thing, we don't let them produce much of that. 90% of that we're going to produce it ourselves. So they're going to be dependent on us to make them feel good. But here's the best part. Like a good leader, we make them think they are the one who are making the decision. We simply pull like a puppet master. We pull all the strings. Let them think they are the one who's making the decision. We are the ones who are taking over the world. And ladies and gentlemen, that's who we are. A puppet for these puppet masters. Thank you very much.